Ras Lila Shukdeva related to Parikshit the tale of Kamdev's humiliation. Sridhar Swami calls Ras Lila as Kama Vijay Leela, defeating of Kamdeva, Hindu equivalent of Cupid. Jagadguru Ballabhacharyaji describes it as Lord's Divya Vihar, divine enjoyment. The purpose of describing this tale is just that common people should reflect on the selfless love of gopis for Lord Krishna and experience the love of God for them as well. Lord is an embodiment of rasa, pleasure after conquering Brahma and other gods. Ego of Kamdev had surged to great heights. He, therefore, requested God to quench his thirst for war. God invited Kamdev to visit Vrindavana on the night of Sharad Purnima, full moon night, in season preceding winter, and told him that on that divine night, he would enjoy the company of crores of gopis. If I have slightest passion for any of them, you will win, otherwise you will lose. That night Lord Krishna added more divinity, more brilliance to it with a resolution of ras with the help of Yogmaya, personified illusion. It was a perfect night for the purpose. Flowers bloomed in Vrindavana, full moon shone, and gentle, cool breeze blew from the banks of river Yamuna. Amidst this stimulating ambience Lord Krishna began to play an enchanting tune on his flute. The tune attracted gopis, their passion surged to its zenith, and under the influence of love for Lord Krishna and as if in trance, all of them ran to meet their beloved Kanhaiya, leaving all their fear, bondages, patience and shyness behind. Some of them were intercepted by their husbands and dragged back to home. But only their physical bodies stayed put, their souls reached Vrindavana. In Vrindavana on the bank of Yamuna, gopis saw Vrindavana Vihari, epithet for Krishna, near their familiar kadam tree. Yogmaya adorned all the gopis from tip to toe. In fact, those gopis were not ordinary women. Parikshit asked, gopis had not regarded Krishna as Parbrahma. What was the basis for their passion then? Shukdeva said, when a wretched person like Shishupal, who always abused Lord Krishna, could find supreme position, there should be no doubt for gopis who had such a profound passion for Lord. So gopis arrived and gathered around Lord Krishna. To test their devotion and to enhance the honor of Kamdev, Krishna said to them, O gopis, the pure ones, it is not fit for you to stay here at this hour of night. Go and serve your husbands. Your duties must be first to your husbands, children and cows. They will be waiting for you eagerly. Go and console them. You can gain me by hearing, reciting, seeing, etc. You need not sit here. Go to your homes. Gopis, however, said, Govind, we have come to you leaving all the mundane lusts behind. Now going back is like ruining our lives. It is the greatest misfortune if someone returns to mundane affairs even after being at your feet. These words that reflected divine feelings of gopis pleased Lord. He began to enjoy their company. But a feeling of ego began to creep in the minds of gopis because of Lord's closeness. They began to assume themselves as highly fortunate. To remove their ego, Lord disappeared right among them. Pitiable condition of gopis in God's absence. After the disappearance of God, gopis were perplexed. Their hearts burned with desire. They had dedicated their entire selves in the feet of Lord. They were entirely merged in the love of Krishna. Thus driven by passion, gopis began to search Lord Krishna. They asked trees, creepers, vegetations for the whereabouts of their beloved. They then spotted his footprints at one place. Footprints of Radha were also there. Indeed, he would have carried her, that great fortunate one, on his shoulders. They thought. Lord had indeed, after disappearing from amidst gopis, taken Radha to an isolated place. She had then began to think herself superior to other gopis. So at one place, she said, "O Lord, I can't walk now. My tender feet are tired. Kindly carry me on your shoulders to wherever you wish." At her request, Lord Krishna agreed to carry her on his shoulder. But as soon as she proceeded to ride, Lord disappeared from there also. Now, Radha began to cry and wail and fainted. At the same time, other gopis also reached there and found Radha lying unconscious on the ground. All of them, including Radha, then returned to the bank of Yamuna and began to wait for Krishna's appearance. Gopika Geet. O Lord, your incarnation has increased the glory of Vrajbhumi. Even the glory of Vaikuntha, Goddess Lakshmi herself came to stay in Vraj. Govind, we have dedicated our lives at your feet. Now we are searching you everywhere. O Madna Mohan, kindly show your beautiful face once. Pranath, your eyes, that are even more beautiful than the lotus that bloom in ponds, is pricking our hearts. We are all your slaves. If you kill us by your separation, will not you be criticized? O Purushottam, you have protected us on many occasions. You are the remover of miseries of Vraj people. O Lord, you are not the son of Yashoda only, but you are the soul of all the living beings. At the request of Brahma, you have arrived on earth to remove her burden. Why don't you protect us? Our lives are in danger because of your separation. O Lord, your tales are like ambrosia. Your ambrosial tales pacify those who are inflicted with mundane obstacles and sorrows. They are indeed great and fortunate who recite your tales. O Purushottam, for the musics of your flute we gave up everything, our husbands, children, social bindings, everything. We even dedicated our lives for the sake of your love. Now nothing amuses us except you. We are living, only to have a sight of you. Now you are wandering from forest to forest with your tender feet, which even we did not bear in our hearts for the fears of hurting them. How much would they be suffering? We are fainting in your worry. O the dearest one, we were yours, we are yours, and we shall be yours forever. Saying these words, gopis burst into tears. Shukdev says, Parikshit, when the beloved gopis burst into tears, Krishna's patience gave away. His heart melted at their condition and he appeared amidst them. A sweet smile played on his beautiful face. He wore a garland of fresh Vajayanti flowers and yellow clothes. His beauty could have moved even Kamdev. Seeing their beloved Kanha once again amidst them, gopis got a new lease of life. All of them began to embrace Lord and thus quenched the fire of separation that was burning their bodies. Thereafter, along with the beauties of Vraj, Lord came to the bank of Yamuna. Gopis put their queries before him for solution. Lord said, O beloved gopis, I do not reciprocate to the desire of my beloved ones for physical love. Because of it their conscience remains always engrossed in me. Hence, I take to hiding even after meeting so that you could feel complete imbibement in me. Maharas, from the words of the Lord, gopis forgot the pains of separation. From the closeness of their beloved, their lives were successful now. With those gopis, Lord Krishna started Maharas on the pious banks of river Yamuna. All the gods gathered in sky to witness that divine festival. Gopis were even more fortunate than Lakshmi. But even amidst crores of gopis, who were eager to devote their everything to him, Lord completely refrained from desires, feelings and even actions. Thus Lord defeated even Kamdev and removed his ego. Salvation of Sudarshan and Shankaka. Shukdev says, O Parikshit, once on the occasion of Lord Shivratri, Nand Baba and all other Gopas drove their carts with families and reached Ambikwana on a pilgrimage tour. There they took bath in the river Saraswati and with devotion worshipped Lord Shiva and Parvati. They also observed day-long fast and decided to pass their night on the bank of Saraswati. But that place was inhabited by a huge python. During the night, the python emerged and caught hold of Nand's leg. Nand Baba cried loudly. All the Gopas gathered around him. He cried again, Kanhaiya, this snake is all set to strangulate me. Save me. Lord touched the python with his feet and instantaneously, the python vanished. In its place appeared a divine-looking human. He said, O Lord, I was a Vidyadhar named Sudarshan. I was so much obsessed with my beauty, youth, luxury and comforts that I used to insult others. One day I had derided at the ugly appearance of the sage Angira. So indignantly he cursed me to become a python. But, pleased by my realization of mistake, he had told that when God himself would touch me, I would regain my original appearance. Thereafter, Sudarshan went round the god, worshipped him and with his permission, departed to his abode. On another occasion, Lord arrived in Vrindavana during Vasant Ritu, spring season. There he took part in Vasantik Ras of spring season, with the gopis. During Ras itself, a demon Shankachor tried to escape away, kidnapping some of the gopis. A stampede resulted among gopis. Hearing their noise, Lord ran after the demon, carrying a huge sal, shaurya, tree in his hands. In no time he overtook the demon and killed him by just one blow. He picked up the gem from demon's head and handed it to Balram. Salvation of Arishthasur. Once, Kansa sent a demon Arishthasur to Vrindavana. The demon arrived there in a bull's guise. That huge bull came to Vrindavana and began to terrorize the people with his loud sound. Seeing the bull, Balram said to Krishna, Kanhaiya, I have never seen such a huge bull before. All the people began to cry for help. Lord consoled them and challenged the bull demon, O fool, why are you terrorizing these cows and cowherds? I am going to shatter your ego. The challenge from God pinched the demon. Tapping his hooves angrily, the demon attacked God. He wished to gore him, but God held his horns and pushed him back. Then kicking the demon, God killed him in no time. Kansa sends Akrura after the killing of Arishthasur. Devarishi Narada visited Kansa and asked, O Kansa, the girl who had slipped from your hand was in fact the daughter of Yashoda. Krishna and Balram, who are staying in Vrindavana, are in fact the sons of Devaki and Rohini respectively. Because of your fear, Vasudev has kept them under the supervision of his friend Nang. Those two boys have killed the demons sent by you. Hearing these words, Kansa shook with anger and put Vasudev and Devaki in prison again. Thereafter he called his minister Akrura and asked him to set out at once for Gokul. He said to Akrura, Akruraji, you are an old friend and well-wisher of mine, go to Gokul and bring the sons of Vasudev, who are staying at Nand's home. Invite them to visit Mathura, to witness the festivities of Dhanshayagya. Akrura understood Kansa's intentions, but feared that if he refused, that demon would kill him. So he decided to visit Gokul, and also have the opportunity of seeing God. He was feeling overwhelmed by the mere thought of it. Next day, he set out on a grand chariot to meet his Supreme Lord in Gokul. Meditating in the feet of Lord, Akrura was heading towards Vrindavana. He was feeling himself as the most fortunate one, for he was sure to have a sight of Lord. Thus obsessed with many kinds of devotional feelings, Akrura alighted from the chariot at the border of Vrindavana and started walking. He found it unjust to ride a chariot on the land of Vrindavana where Lord Krishna treaded. By the time he reached Vrindavana, Lord Krishna and Balram had returned home after grazing their cattle. Seeing them, Akrura fell at their feet. Both the brothers raised Akrura and addressed him as Chacha, uncle, and escorted him into the house. Akrura was given a warm welcome and treatment there. After the dinner, they assembled in Nand's drawing room. Nand inquired about the reason of his sudden arrival. Akrura said, Kansa is organizing a wrestling competition in Mathura. He has invited all the big and small kings to the competitions. He has invited you with Krishna and Balram as well. Beautiful Mathura is worth seeing. Gullible Nand felt pleased by Akrura's talking and said, King Kansa has shown a great honor to me. He has sent invitation only to other kings, but has sent his minister to call me and a golden chariot for my kids. So it was announced in Gokul that all the people would go to Mathura the next day and witness the festivities there. Departure of Krishna and Balram for Mathura. When the gopis heard about Krishna leaving Gokul to visit Mathura, they began to wail and cry. They were getting so much restless by the news that they felt their lives would end before the summaries say. They started imprecating fate that it had no kindness. First it provided them with a closer contact with their beloved Kanha, now it was causing a long separation from him. Some of gopis even begged for death. They felt it better than living without Kanha. All the gopis kept on crying and wailing night long. Mother Yashoda awoke early in the morning next day. She churned out butter and adding mishri, sugar candies, she took it to Krishna to feed him. But there she found that both Krishna and Balram were getting ready to set out for Mathura. They held mother's feet and said, Pardon us, O mother, we are going to Mathura. These words disturbed Yashoda. She ran and fell at Akrura's feet and said, I am your slave. O Akrura, please do not take my beloved sons to Mathura. They are inseparable from my heart. Why Kansa has summoned them to Mathura? O Akrura, go and tell him to take everything from us, but spare our sons. We are also ready to live in jail, but can't lose our beloved sons. Akrura consoled Yashoda. Babri, sister-in-law, don't worry. These two brothers are going to Mathura to witness the festivities there and will return soon to comfort your heart. Yashoda said, Akruraji, Mathura is a town of gold and both of my sons are too young yet to be needed there for any reason. Touching the feet of Nand and Yashoda, both the brothers said, Father, Mother, we will definitely return. Presently we wish to see the grandeur of Mathura. Meanwhile all the gopis and gopas had gathered there. Crying and wailing, the gopis said, You are very cruel, O Akrura, who named you as Akrura. You have come here to lacerate our hearts. Second gopi said, No friend, it is not a fault of Akrura. Our complaints are with Syamsundar. We left everything, our husbands, children, our homes and dedicated our entire selves in your service. And now you are deserting us so ruthlessly. We have no support for our life except you, O Madhusudan. Saying this, all the gopis burst into tears again. All the gopas, including Sridama, surrounded the chariot and said, O Krishna, we had not even dreamt that you would desert us so ruthlessly. O Kanhaiya, we have seen with our eyes that even Indra, Varuna, Sankadi and Brahma bow before you. But we have never regarded you as God. We regarded you as our friend. Are you angry with us? O my childhood friend Kanhaiya, we request you, we will never abuse you in future. If you were intending to go, why did you then save us from the infernal forest fire? Why did you save from the deluging rains? We cannot live without you. Tell us, O benevolent friend, when will you return? Lord Krishna consoled them all and took many of them with him. The chariot began to move. As long as the flag of the chariot remained visible, people kept on crying and wailing. Even the eyes of Akrura filled with tears. Lord asked him, Kaka, why are you weeping? Akrura replied, O Lord, Kansa is the great sinner. I feel he will try to torment you by all means. So, my heart says, that I should take you back to Vrindavana, because if Kansa did any harm to you, their spirits will curse me forever. Akrura has a sight of Lord in four-armed form. Hearing Akrura's words, Lord understood that when he had arrived in Vraj, he was afflicted with a feeling of majesty. But now, it has been replaced by affection now. He, therefore decided to remove his dilemma. Thus, Lord said to him, Kaka, Mathura is still some distance away. So you take a bath in Yamuna. We brothers are waiting for you in the chariot. As soon as Akrura took a dip in Yamuna, Lord showed him a sight of his abode Vaikunth and his Narayana's appearance, in which he was holding conch, wheel, make and lotus in each of his four hands, and was lying on the bed of Sheshnaga. With folded hands, Akrura prayed to Lord, O Lord, you are the reason for the existence of Brahma and the universe. O Lord, I pray at your feet again and again. Now I recognize you. You are the one who took the incarnations of Matsya, Kachchap, Varah, Narsingha, Vaman, Rama etc. Thus after bath and worship, Akrura returned to the chariot. Lord Krishna understood that now a devotional feeling had arisen in the mind of Akrura for Narayana. Lord asked, your condition seems miserable. Did you see anything extraordinary underwater? Akrura said, O Lord, now bestow your grace on me. Kindly come to my home and accept my hospitality. Arrival in Mathura and grace on Kubja. After the departure of Akrura, Nand Baba too set out for Mathura along with the Gopas. On the way itself, they caught up with Krishna and Balram. All of them then reached Mathura together. There they stayed in a garden. After some time, with Nand's permission, both the brothers set out to see the city of Mathura. Mathura was indeed a beautiful town. All the residents of Mathura thronged on roads, roofs and attics to have a sight of Krishna and Balram. On the way, they met a pretty but hunched woman. She introduced herself as Kubja, the maid of Kansa. Her duty was to smear the members of the royal family with sandalwood paste. God asked her if she would smear him with sandal paste. Kubja said, O Manmohan, I see no one more fitting than you for the sandal paste. Thus she smeared Lord's forehead with saffron. On Balaram's forehead she smeared musk containing sandal paste. Other Gopas smeared all the remaining sandal paste on their heads. Lord then put his feet on Kubja's and holding her chin gave her head a slight jerk. And in no time, Kubja's hunch was gone and she turned into a pretty woman. She begged Lord for his love. The Lord promised her a meeting in future, and proceeded ahead. After saving Kubja, Lord Krishna and other Gopas moved ahead. At a place they saw a huge bow kept on a high stage. Many strong men were guarding it. Lord entered the canopy and easily lifted the bow and broke it into pieces. There was a big applause from all around. Do said, Krishna, Now the crowd will increase here, so let us escape in time. Thus, both the brothers and their friends beat a retreat to their camp. There they rested for night. There in Mathura, breaking of the bow had frightened Kansa. He could not sleep during the night. Even in his dreams, he saw nothing but Krishna everywhere around him. Killing of elephant early in the morning, Kansa summoned his minister and ordered him to make Kuvalyapid, the elephant, to stand in the center of the main gate. He thought that the elephant would kill both the boys if they dared to enter the fort through main gate. Back there in the garden, Krishna and Balram set out in wrestlers' guise for the fort. At the gate, seeing an elephant blocking the passage, they asked Mahut loudly, "O Mahut, why have you made the elephant stand in the center of the gate? Move it either ahead or back." But instead of moving the elephant out of the passage, the Mahut stared it right on them. But before elephant could attack them, Balram caught its trunk, while Krishna caught its tail. Both the brothers then dragged the elephant out of the gate and lofted it in the air. The elephant fell on the ground with a loud thud and died on the spot. Salvation of wrestlers. Kansa felt very nervous by the news of elephant's killing. Before he could take stock of the situation, Lord Krishna and Balram arrived in the amphitheater. The spectators present in the amphitheater saw Lord as per their feelings. The menfolk saw Lord as a jewel among the men. Womenfolk saw him as an incarnation of Kamdev. Cowherds saw their natural friend in Lord, while to Kansa he appeared as his death. But to his mother and father, Devki and Vasudev, and to none, Krishna and Balram appeared as small kids. Sages and ascetics saw nothing but metaphysical coming in boys' guise. Learned ones cited his cosmic form, while to Yadvas he appeared as their tutelary god. As soon as the Lord and Balram arrived in the ring, the wrestlers, who were already present there, stood up like springs. A wrestler Chanu dragged Krishna and one named Mushtik dragged Balram into the ring. They said to them, "Both of you and we are the subjects of the great king Kansa. It is our duty to please our king with our art and skill. Moreover, we will receive many rewards also." Krishna said, "O wrestlers, you please fight among yourselves. We are boys yet, so we shall witness your fight from a distance." Chanur said, "No, you are neither boy nor teenagers. You are stronger than the strongest. You have just killed an elephant which was stronger than 1,000 elephants." Thus, both the brothers were compelled to wrestle with the royal wrestlers. Mushtik was beaten on the ground by Balram so hard that he died at once on the spot. Krishna similarly killed second wrestler Chanur. All the remaining wrestlers met similar fate one by one. The massive crowd present there applauded them joyfully. Salvation of Kansa. Seeing the shameful defeat of his wrestlers, Kansa, infuriated with anger, and proclaimed, "Tie all the opponents, tie Ugasan, Devki, Vasudev, none in ropes, and bring them before me." Lord Krishna could not tolerate this, and in a single jump, he reached on the stage where Kansa was present. Lord Krishna caught him by hair and said, "O Kansa, once you have caught a helpless woman by hair, I have avenged that insult. Now you will receive the fruits for your atrocities." Saying this, Lord began to twirl Kansa, catching him by hair, and threw him down from the stage. Then Lord jumped once again and landed on the chest of Kansa. Kansa died instantaneously. Thus, Kansa, who was an incarnation of the demon Kalnemi, received salvation. Lord Krishna then released his parents from the prison and crowned his maternal grandfather Ugrasen as the king of Mathura. Yajnapaveet of Krishna and Balram. After the successful completion of all the royal ceremonies, The consecration of Krishna and Balram was carried out. Thereafter, they came to stay at the hermitage of sage Sandipani for formal education. Extraordinarily brilliant Krishna successfully learned all the knowledge in short period of time. Then, as Guru Dakshina, paying respect to the teacher, Krishna brought back his dead sons from the abode of Yamraj. Taking his convocational bath, thereafter, Lord Krishna returned to Mathura. There, though living among royal luxuries and grandeur, Lord Krishna remained indifferent. Memory of his sentimental, beloved devotees, friend and other people of Vraj kept on pricking him. Sending Uddhava as messenger servant, Uddhava, the son of Yadva's minister Brihaspati, was an intimate friend of Lord Krishna. Only he had the permission to enter Lord's sanctum. Seeing his friend Krishna in remorse, Uddhava asked, Mathunath, you seem to be upset. What is troubling you? Lord Krishna replied, Uddhava, I feel perplexed. I remember my days in Vrindavana. Please go to Vrindavana and get the news regarding gopis there. Also give them my message. Thus Lord Krishna donned Uddhava in his attire and sent him to Vraj in his chariot. There he stayed at Nand's home. At night, Uddhava inquired about Nand and Yashoda's well-being and about Vraj in general. That whole night passed in chatting. Brahma Geet. Next day, when the gopis got the news of Uddhava's arrival, they thronged in and around Nand's residence. They recognized the chariot parked in front of the gate. It was the same chariot on which Krishna and Balram had departed for Mathura. First they thought that their beloved Krishna had returned. But their belief did not last long. Some of them opined that Akrura might have come again. But what for? But then someone informed that it was Uddhava, Krishna's servant friend, who had come to preach them about metaphysical knowledge. Soon afterwards, Uddhava came out and spoke out loud, O gopis, listen to the preaching of Uddhava. But instead of listening to him, gopis covered their ears. Feeling insulted, Uddhava expressed his dissatisfaction over their behavior. Gopis said to him, O gentleman, firstly we are not familiar with you, secondly we have no capacity to hear your preaching. Yes, if you wish to give us the message of our most beloved, thousands of ears are eager to hear that. Uddhava then introduced himself as the intimate friend of Lord Krishna. Knowing his identity, gopis welcomed and treated Uddhava warmly. Uddhava then began to say again, O gopis, the person whom you are declaring as your beloved friend, in fact has no mother, no father. He has no form, no color and no body. He is above all, non-existing, all-pervasive and the giver of joy. He is never separate from his devotee and beloved ones. All of you, too, feel the presence of that supreme being and be happy forever. Gopis said, Uddhava, as long as Ganashyam stayed with us, we saw endless virtues in him. But only within 6 months of his stay in Mathura, you wiped out all of his virtues and turned him virtueless. Tell us, with which mouth did he eat butter? With which hand did he break our pitchers? With which feet did he pasture cows in the forests? And with which feet did he dance on the hood of Kaliya? Was he another Krishna? Harsh reaction of the gopis startled Uddhava. He began to think where he had been caught. His knowledge of Vedanta was proving ineffective on the gopis, who are sunk in so much love. On the other hand, gopis too were feeling embarrassed for treating the guest bitterly. But they were also not prepared to listen to such preaching that condemned love. Moreover, they had let out their long accumulating feeling. Meanwhile, a bumblebee perched at Radha's feet, mistaking them for lotus. Pointing to it, all the gopis said, beware, O bumblebee, beware if you dare to touch the feet of our Radha. It appears that you are a disciple of Krishna. There is now no secret regarding the virtues and actions of your friend. But it is good that he and you died in friendship. You are black and your friend has a black heart. Virtues of both of you are same. First he imbibed us in his love, then left us ruthlessly forever. He is not sorry for us. But why does Lakshmi serves in those feet? She must be careful, lest she should be deceived like us. O bumblebee, you also appear to be a polymath who has come here to preach us. But you won't get an audience in Braj. You should better go to Mathura. There is one Kubja, go and relate your tale to her. You will receive ample donations from her. What will you get from the gopis here? They have already lost their mental balance, because of their separation from the beloved Krishna. If you have come to ask, why we loved Krishna, O bumblebee, we have no knowledge. But we know that our love for Krishna was not a mistake. Even the goddess Lakshmi does not leave his feet for a moment. Why should we leave his feet then? But O bumblebee, have you really come to convince us? When he could not come out of shame, he sent you to console us, the deaf and dumb gopis. But be careful if you put your head at the feet of Radha. Get away, we have already seen enough of flattery and flirtation of your friend. Deserting our affection for ephemeral things, we loved that eternal one. But he too abandoned us. Can you guess about our condition? Tell us, O Uddhava, shall we ever get the sight of Sri Krishna again? Hearing the tragic tale of the gopis, Uddhava too felt very sorry for them. He felt as if Mathunath, Lord Krishna, was indeed neglecting those gopis. Uddhava stayed in Vrindavana for 6 months. There he saw every place, every spot where Lord Krishna had played once. When he was returning to Mathura, Mother Yashoda presented him with butter. Radha gave him the flute. Thus immersed in the love and overwhelmed by its feelings, Uddhava reached Mathura. He said to Krishna, Lord, the real appearance of love that I saw in Vrindavana is the only truth. Shri Krishna said, Uddhava, you are weeping. Just look at me. Uddhava looked at him with wide, opened eyes. In every single hair of Lord, there existed gopis. Uddhava was indeed a servant. But Lord had sent him to Braj only to be taught a lesson of love. Battles with Jarasandha and construction of Dwarikpuri. After the death of Kansa, his widowed queens Asti and Prapti returned to their father Jarasandha's home and informed him that Krishna and Balram had killed their husband Kansa. Infuriated by the news, Jarasandha at once launched a massive attack on Mathura. The people of Mathura were frightened by the strength of Jarasandha's army. Lord Krishna too fell in deep thought. Just then, divine weapons and chariots appeared from the heaven. Both the brothers took the weapons and boarded their chariots. Then they fought a fierce battle and slayed all the army of Jarasandha. Balram furiously caught Jarasandha and was about to kill him. But Lord Krishna stopped him. They then released Jarasandha and let him go unhurt. Jarasandha felt ashamed that Krishna released him because of his helpless condition. Shukdev says, O Parikshit, despite his shameful defeat, Jarasandha attacked Mathura 17 times with huge armies. But every time, the Lord defeated him and released him in kindness. And every time Jarasandha felt more humiliated. At last, instead of attacking Mathura himself, Jarasandha sent Kalyavan to defeat Sri Krishna. Kalyavan launched an attack on Mathura with 1 crore strong Malech army. This time Lord Krishna decided to vacate Mathura instead of countering the attack. He got Dwarikpuri constructed by Vishwakarma and settled all the people of Mathura there. Then, unarmed, Lord Krishna walked past Kalyavan. Pointed by Narada, Kalyavan at once recognized Krishna and gave him a chase. He also challenged him, but the Lord did not listen to his challenges and kept moving with face turned away. Kalyavan chased him for long, but could not catch up. Ultimately the Lord entered a cave. Kalyavan too followed him into the cave. In the cave the Lord saw that someone was sleeping there. So he covered the man with his yellow length of cloth and himself hid inside the cave. Kalyavan too arrived there and saw the sleeping man. He mistook him for God and said, "Krishna, you might have thought that braves do not attack on sleeping people. So I will first wake you up and then kill you." Saying thus, Kalyavan kicked the sleeping man hard. However, as soon as the man awakened and glanced at Kalyavan, Kalyavan got incinerated at once. Tale of Makund. Parikshit asked, "Gurudev, who was that sleeping man?" Shukdev says, "O king, that sleeping man was Makund, the son of the king Mandata. The gods had sought his assistance in their war against the demon during the Satya Yuga. With Makund's help the gods had defeated the demons and thus pleased had asked him to seek a boon. Makund then had sought a boon of seeing God in tangible form. The gods had assured him that he would have a sight of God in Dwapar Yuga. Since Dwapar Yuga was still far away, so Makund had asked, "What should I do till then?" The gods asked him to sleep somewhere and blessed him with a boon that whoever waked him up would be incinerated at once, by his glance. Thus, in order to get Kalyavan incinerated and show Makund with his divine form, Lord had gone to that spot where Makund was sleeping. Makund got the sight of God in Chaturbhuj form, and seeked a boon of continuous devotion for 3 births. Thus, Lord defeated Malek's army and captured all their wealth. He also defeated Jarasandha and caused great joy for the people of Dwarka. The king of Anat, Raivat, got his daughter Revati married to Balram with the blessing of Brahma. Message of Rukmini for Lord Krishna. Shukdev said, "O Parikshit, Bhismak was the king of Vidarbha. He had 5 sons and a daughter Rukmini. Rukmini, the eldest son of Bhismak, had fixed his sister's engagement with Shishupal, the prince of Chedi. Narada did not like this development. He went to Kundanpur, the capital of Vidarbha, and said in the court of Bhismak, "O king, I am coming from Dwarka." Bhismak said, "O great sage, I have never heard about any city named Dwarka." Thus, in the court of Bhismak, Narada narrated about the life of Lord Krishna and the grandeur of Dwarka. Bhismak heard the tale with full attention. His daughter Rukmini too enjoyed the tale. But Rukmini had a strong opposition against Lord Krishna. Ignoring the wish of his father, he was not ready to get his sister married to Lord Krishna. On the appointed day, Shishupal appeared there, in a procession, to get married with Rukmini. But Rukmini was determined to marry Lord Krishna. She sent a love letter to Krishna through a loyal Brahmin and declared a fast unto death. Lord Krishna read her letter, which said, "O Trilokanath, since the moment these ears have heard about your virtues, actions, character and place, my soul experiences divine peace. O Achyut, my mind is dedicated in your feet. O great among the men, this Rukmini has dedicated herself in your feet. Now it is up to you to see that no jackal could take away the lion's share." The Brahman, the carrier of the letter, returned to Kundanpur with an assurance from the Lord. Lord too called the charioteer and set out at once for Kundanpur. There in Kundanpur, Rukmini, after getting the assurance from the Brahman, was thus waiting for Lord's arrival. Preparations for Rukmini's marriage with Shishupal were on with full swing in Kundanpur. All the houses, streets and lanes were cleaned and sprinkled with scented water. All the men and women folk donned new clothes and ornaments. King Bhismak worshipped his ancestors and gods and welcomed the Brahmins liberally. Extremely beautiful Princess Rukmini was given ceremonial bath and donned with auspicious clothes and bracelets. The king of Chedi, Damghosh, got the auspicious rites for the marriage of his son Shishupal, performed by Brahmins. All the Bharatis, people in marriage procession, were given grand reception. Many great kings like Shalv, Jarasandha, Dantavakra, Vidurath and Poundrik were present in the marriage procession. They had come with their armies with an intention of fighting Krishna and Balram. After Krishna's departure, Balram too set out for Kundanpur with Chaturangini, with 4 wings, army, for he had known about their opponents' preparedness. Rukmini was eagerly awaiting Lord's arrival. She had received the news that Dwarkanath, Krishna, had resolved to take her away. She was feeling overwhelmed in her heart. Seeing Lord Krishna arrived intently in the marriage ceremonies of his daughter, King Bhismak welcomed him. Seeing him, even the common people of Vidarbha prayed, "May our Princess Rukmini get Sri Krishna as her husband." At the same time, Rukmini emerged from her palace to go to the temple of Ambik Devi. Soldiers were guarding her. In the temple, Rukmini prayed peacefully, "O Mother Ambika, I greet you and Ganpati, who is sitting in your lap. I seek your blessing that may my wish be fulfilled and may I receive Sri Krishna as my husband." On her way back, Rukmini was walking very slowly for she was awaiting Lord's arrival, which was due in any moment. Just then, Lord Krishna appeared before her. Before she could ride her chariot, Lord lifted her from amidst the crowd. And in the presence of hundreds of kings, Krishna and Balram eloped away with Rukmini. Krishna defeats Rukmi and marries Rukmini. Hearing the news that Krishna has eloped with Rukmini, Rukmi and all other kings present there boiled with anger. Accompanied by their huge armies, they decided to give them a chase. Thus chased by them, Yajnavanishis stopped and encountered the kings boldly. With a true ambition to win, brave Yadav soldiers defeated the enemies. All the kings like Jarasandha fled for their lives. Rukmi had resolved that without getting Rukmini released from Krishna's captivity, he would not show his face in Kundanpur. He chased Lord Krishna for long. But Dwarkanath defeated him and got his head shaved. Thus defeating all the kings, Lord Krishna brought Rukmini to Dwarka. There they got married formally. All the people of Dwarka celebrated festivities for many days. People presented them with lot of precious gifts. All the people were in great joy to see Lakshmi as Rukmini with her husband Lord Krishna. Birth of Pradyumna, killing of Shabarasur. Shukdev says, "O Parikshit, Kamdev was a part of Lord himself. After getting incinerated by Rudra, Kamdev took refuge in the Supreme Lord to get an incarnation once more. Thus, Kamdev was born as Rukmini's first son Pradyumna. But just after his birth, Pradyumna was kidnapped by a demon Shambasur. The demon dropped the baby into the sea, where a huge fish swallowed him in whole. Coincidentally, the fish was caught by the fishers and presented to the kitchen of Shambasur. When the cooks cut the fish open, an extremely beautiful baby emerged. Mayavati, the governess of the kitchen, felt overjoyed to see the baby. She began to rear the baby with love and affection. Once Nada arrived in the kitchen and said, "Mayavati, do you know who is in your lap?" "No, O Devarishi, I found him from the belly of a fish," said Mayavati. Devarishi Narada said, "He is your husband Kamdev and you are his wife Rati. In this birth, he has appeared as Pradyumna, the son of Krishna." Hearing this, Mayavati saluted Narada with respect. Since then she regarded Pradyumna as her husband and served him accordingly. When Pradyumna matured, Mayavati reminded him about his real appearance. Pradyumna, thereafter, killed Shambhasur and got married with Mayavati. Then the couple arrived in Dwarka. Tale of Syamantaka the gem and its theft. A person named Satyajit was a great devotee of Lord Suryanarayana. Pleased by his devotion, Suryadev presented him a gem called Syamantaka. The gem had a radiance equal to the sun. Bearing that gem, Satyajit arrived in Lord's court. By the radiance of his gem, all the people and the courtiers mistook him for Suryadev and stood in his regard. But the Lord recognized him and asked his courtiers to be calm. Then to Satyajit, Lord said, "Satyajit, your gem is really very beautiful. Nana, maternal grandfather, Ugrasen is the king of this region. If you present this gem to him, it will be very good." But Satyajit refused to present that gem. One day, later on, Satyajit's brother Prasenjit went hunting, wearing the gem in his neck. In the forest a lion killed him and snatched the gem. The lion was in turn killed by the Ursine king Jambvan. Jambvan took the gem to his cave and gave it to his children to play with. When Prasenjit did not return from hunting, Satyajit felt sorry and accused Krishna that he had killed his brother for the gem. When Lord Krishna heard that he was being blamed for the mishap, he himself went to the forests. There he found the dead body of Prasenjit, but there was no sign of gem around the cadaver. He found only footprints of a lion leaving from there. Following the footprints, he discovered the dead lion and the footprints of a great bear. Following the footprints, he reached in the cave where Jambvan's daughter Jambavati was playing with the gem. As soon as Lord Krishna proceeded to take the gem, Jambvan arrived. A fierce duel resulted between them. They continued to fight for 26 days without truce. On the 27th day Jambvan requested Lord, "Please wait, O Lord." Lord said, "Do you want to take rest?" "No," said Jambvan, "I have recognized you. You are none other than Lord Narayana himself. Nobody else has the power to defeat me." Lord appeared before Jambvan as Sri Rama. Jambvan prayed and worshipped him. He was feeling guilty that he dared to fight Lord. Lord said that he had arrived there for the gem only. Jambvan gave him the gem and also his daughter Jambavati. Lord returned the gem to Satyajit and married Jambavati formally. Lord summoned Satyajit to his court and in the presence of the king Ugrasen, related the sequence of incidents that took place in the jungle. Satyajit felt ashamed. With a feeling of repentance he took the gem. He was getting afraid also that he made enmity with Lord Krishna without reason. Hence to expiate his crime, Satyajit thought of presenting the gem Syamantaka and his daughter Satyabhama to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna accepted Satyabhama as his wife but returned the gem to Satyajit saying, "It is a gift of Lord Suryadev. Keep it with you. You are required to deposit the gold that you get from it in the royal treasure." Akrura and Kritvarma were not pleased with the marriage of Satyabhama. So they got Satyajit killed by Shatdhanva. Shatdhanva killed Satyajit in his sleep and absconded with the gem. Lord Krishna was then away in Hastinapur. Satyabhama too reached there and informed Krishna about her father's assassination. With Balram, Lord Krishna chased Shatdhanva. But even after killing him, they could not trace the gem. Shatdhanva had given the gem to Akrura to keep till his return. But after the death of Shakthanva, frightened Akrura came to stay in Kashi. From the effect of the gem, Akrura performed many grand yagas there. Lord summoned Akrura from Kashi. After welcoming and treating him in the court, Lord asked him about the gem. Akrura showed the gem in the court. But Lord returned the gem to Akrura. Krishna's other marriages. 1. Once Lord Krishna visited Indraprasth to see Pandavas there. There riding a chariot with Arjuna, he came to the forests. On the bank of river Yamuna a pretty woman was observing penance. By the instinct of God, Arjuna drew near her and asked for her identity. She said, "I am Kalindi, the daughter of Suryadev. I am penancing here in order to get married with Lord Krishna." Lord got Kalindi boarded on the chariot and got married to her formally. 2. Mitvinda was the sister of Vind Anuvind, the king of Ujjain. She had a desire to get Lord as her husband. But her brother, Vind Anuvind, was a follower of Duryodhan. So he stopped his sister Mitvinda from getting married to Krishna. But Krishna eloped with Mitvinda from his court and got married to her formally later on. 3. Satya was the daughter of Naginjit, the king of Kaushal. She was extremely beautiful lady. The king had resolved that he would marry his daughter only to him who would defeat his 7 most formidable oxen. Many princes has tried their luck since then but failed. When Lord Krishna heard about that, he reached Kaushal with his army. The king of Kaushal welcomed and treated him well, and told him about his resolution. Lord then took 7 guises and in no time defeated his 7 formidable oxen. Gladly the king married his daughter Satya to Lord Krishna. 4. Shukdev said, "Parikshit, Lord's aunt, father's sister, Shrukirti was married in the kingdom of Kaikoja. Bhadra was the daughter of Shrukirti. Bhadra's brothers like Santhadan etc. themselves had got their sister married to Lord Krishna. 5. Lakshmana was the daughter of the king of Mathura. She was very beautiful and meritorious. Lord abducted her all alone from the Swayamvar organized for her marriage. Later, Lord married to her formally. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe to be notified of when new audiobooks are uploaded. Thank you for listening and learning. Shanti.